Hello, YouTube and forum people. So after a long time of playing Gaige and being asked to make a guide, a leveling guide, and stuff like that for Gaige, I finally decided to do that a year and a half later. But yeah, what I'm going to do is break down my leveling guide per mode, as in normal, TVHM, and UVHM. Now, what I'm going to go over first is gear, basic gear, up until level 14. Then I'm going to go briefly into skill points, and then I'll conclude this with a in-depth, I guess, what do you say? In-depth guide? No, showcase of a particularly useful weapon for Gaige in all modes. So, okay, basically, all we have to worry about is getting to level 14, and there's a reason for that, which I'll explain later. Up until that, honestly, the best weapons you can choose for Gaige are low mag Jacob's shotties. The more barrels you can get, the better. Like, a quad barrel would absolutely see her through pretty much everything in normal mode. But a Jacob's shotty, and also Torg ARs. Might be a bit of a surprise that I didn't say Torg pistols or, you know, snipers or whatnot, but yes, Torg ARs and Jacob's shotties do really well on her. Torg ARs, especially once you get an improved, the Jill of all trades, can be very useful. The thing is, the Torg ARs work very well with Anarchy. You know, you won't be going that high into Anarchy, obviously, in normal mode, but still, I found everything else to be a little lackluster with Anarchy. Jacob shotties and Torg ARs really work well. As you can see, I'm using a Jacob shotty now. The first one you get after meeting up with Claptrap after Knuckle Dragger. Yeah, so keep this until 14, in which we will get her most important weapon. So here we have my basic level 26 build for normal mode. Now, actually let's go back and take off my class mod so you can get a better idea of my skill points. Okay, here we go. It's basic level 26. I chose level 26 because it was the only convenient level gauge I had for going over normal mode. And since normal mode usually has you completing the story mode around level 26 to 30, it's a perfect example. So, okay, let's say you're leveling from 1 to 26. There are 3 skills that I deem essential for normal mode gameplay. That is Anarchy, Discord, and Cooking Up Trouble, which are the 3 things that make life easier and let you have fun in normal mode. If you'll notice, I do not have any points in pre-shrunk Cyberpunk or close enough. There's a reason for this, and that reason is they are absolutely unnecessary. Now, I've read a lot of threads that say the opposite. A lot of threads telling newer members to, yeah, get Anarchy and get close enough. First things you should spend points on. Thing is, you never ever need 400 stacks in normal mode, and you never ever need close enough, because all you'll get up to is 150 at the most, and you can still aim very decently at 150, and it's just a waste of skill points and teaches you nothing on how to use Gaige if you rely on close enough. This is different if you're using the fibber, but I usually save the fibber until UVHM. Yeah, I don't think I've ever done that quest actually in normal mode or even TVHM. So it is just completely unnecessary. So, okay, we're leveling up from 1. My favorite skill progression is, of course, at level 5 you'll finally get Death Trap. Very next point at level 6 should go into Anarchy. From there, what I usually do is max out Cooking Up Trouble, or at the very least go to 4 and then start working on the OC tree. Go ahead and get smaller, lighter, faster, down to 4. Now our ultimate goal is to get Discord. To do that, we'll need BSS. So, you can go ahead and max that out, grab Discord, and then we can finish maxing out Cooking Up Trouble, maybe even put a few points in Better Half, put a few points in Iconoclast, just so we can get stacks, a bit easier. I don't know, 3? That sounds good. And there we go. That's how I normally progress through normal mode and my skill points. And this actually works for normal and TVHM. Even in TVHM, you never need anything above 150, and you still will not need close enough. I cannot emphasize this enough. It's actually kind of pissed me off seeing this in the threads all the time. That, close enough should be the first thing you get. No, you don't need close enough, ever. And you never need to put points into this skill during these two play modes, normal and TVHM. Now regarding gear, there are a few essential pieces that will make your life easier, although you can technically do this with anything. There's a reason I said level 14 when I specified that in my video. The reason being the Pimpernel, which we'll be using, not that. This. I do have 3 versions of it. I have Fire Pimpernel, Corrosive, and a Slag, which were all farmed. If you're planning on farming that mission, go for it. If you just want to get one, try to get the Shock, since it's applicable to everything, especially in normal mode. But, okay, so by now everyone probably knows that I emphasize a lot of focus on the Pimpernel. I will explain that in the following segment. So, why the Pimpernel and why level 14? Well, level 14 is where the Scarlet DLC, or DLC 1 for Borderlands 2, starts to scale in normal mode. Yeah, I believe it starts at 14 and then goes up until 30 in normal mode. So, basically what we're doing is, as soon as we can enter the DLC, we are getting it. If we could enter it sooner, I would get the Pimpernel sooner. And there is a reason for that, but I'll go over that in a bit. Some other weapons that are really good once you have access to missions or farming for uniques. The Octo that I have here is decent. Ruby is a good choice to get. What is it? The Hail is, of course, one of the must-haves for a Gaige. It can be received as a reward for Fink's Slaughterhouse Round 5, which is located in the fridge. And yeah, honestly, for uniques, that's pretty much it, unless you want to bother farming Dexidius. In which case, he will drop the Twister, which can be equally, if not a bit more, powerful than the Pimp. But, it should be, because it's a shoddy with a 22 pellet count, shock damage, and yeah, whatnot. But, yeah, so here I'm using the Octo. It works kind of like a sniper. It has a converge point, just like the, Interfacer has, or the CC has, more or less. So it takes some getting used to, but it is a great gun. What we're ultimately doing in this playthrough, what I'm doing right now, is actually going to farm the blockhead, which is another very, very good weapon to have on Gaige at any level. I'm talking normal, TVHM, UVHM, or even OP8. It can absolutely destroy mobs, even mini bosses or story mode bosses. Not so much raids and OP8, but it is a great shoddy to have for going through the story mode. So yeah, you know, to summarize some essential pieces of gear that are unique: Pimpernel, the Hail, Twister if you have time, Blockhead, Ruby, you know, pretty much that. And the Blockhead can be farmed by going to this area that I'm showing you now and breaking these blocks and killing the creepers. Now on the map, it is in this area. From the start point, you kind of, you know, make your way around, go through the warehouse, and end up here at that point, in which you start breaking these blocks, which will lead you to a cave where the creepers spawn. Now there's going to be about 4 or 5 creepers that spawn before a badass creeper spawns, and that badass creeper is the one who has the chance to drop the blockhead or the longbow. For the longbow, it's another great sniper. I would refer to Noponis's videos on why the longbow is great. But here, okay. I am using a level 16 Pimpernel. I am level 26 and my enemies are equal level. And I am one-shotting then with a whopping, yeah, 16 stacks of Anarchy. This is why you want the Pimpernel. If you do not have Scarlet's DLC, shame on you, go get that. If you use Gaige, because this. Badass Creeper, level 27, 2 shots. And yeah, I've got a whopping, what is it, 24, 25 stacks right now. That is why the Pimpernel is great. And wow, okay, I didn't get a blockhead, but I got a longbow. I might do something with that later. I think I should kill Terra with a longbow in normal mode. That might be fun. In fact, I might do that. But yes, that is where you go to farm for the blockhead, which is a very, very powerful weapon on Gaige, as each pellet receives undivided Anarchy. And again, just to go over the Pimp I was using, it is level 16. That's right, it's 10 to 11 levels below the enemies I'm facing. That's why you want it. As for shields and relics, you don't really need to worry about grenades that much. It's whatever comms. I'd get a Prodigy or a Jill of all trades comm, but shields, a white turtle shield will see you through normal. So if you happen to find one, especially with an immunity, especially with fire immunity, grab that and use it. Yes, white or even green or even blue turtle shields will see you through normal and TVHM, probably even UVHM. But anyway, I'm going to display just how insane the Pimpernel can be. Again, you know, I'm repeating this, but keep in mind, the Pimpernel I'm using in this video is level 16. And yeah, I have about 30 Anarchy stacks. And just, you know, look at the damage I'm doing, and please enjoy the rest of the video.